Over here, let's see where we're up to is on 17b. We're up to Yud Zayin Amud Beis. Now we stopped yesterday in the middle of a piece of the Gemara, and we will go back a couple of lines before to the Gemara. We learned Ton Rabbanon. We already did this piece, like I said, but we're going to go it over again a little bit. The Gemara says, Ton Rabbanon. This was learned in Abraisa, that Kol Elu Sha'amru Mutorim Legaleach B'Moyed. In our Mishnah, we had exceptions for those who are permitted to take a haircut on Chol HaMoyed. Normally, on Chol HaMoyed, you can't take a haircut. But the Mishnah enumerated people, the exceptions that are permitted to take a haircut on Chol HaMoyed. The Brisa is telling us that these same exception will apply to a person in mourning. A person in mourning is also not permitted to take a haircut, just like on Chol HaMoyed. So the same exceptions that we allow to take a haircut on Chol HaMoyed are also allowed to take a haircut during mourning. So the Brisa says, Kol elu sha'amru mutarim legalech b'moyed. All those that they said, that the rabbis said, that they're permitted to take the haircut on Chol HaMoyed, mutarim legalech b'mei evlon, are permitted to take a haircut during the days of mourning. Those exceptions that can take haircuts on Chol HaMoyed can also take are exceptions, and they can take a haircut on when they're in mourning. The Gemara challenges it. It says, "V'atanya asurim," but we learned in another brisa in which it says that no, they are prohibited. That only on Chol HaMoyed are they allowed to take a haircut, but not during the morning. We are not going to make that exception, that allowance for people in mourning. It seems to be a direct contradiction. Amar Rav Chizda, Amar Rav Shila. Rav Chizda, the name of Rav Shila, gives an answer. He says, Kitanya hocha mutorim. When it says over here that they are permitted, which means that you're allowing them to, in the days of mourning, to take a haircut, those exceptional cases, it's not talking in an ordinary case, but it's talking about Bishetokufuho Avelo. We're talking about there was a continuous mourning. First one brother died, then another brother died. So he was sort of mourning one after the other. Over there, the Brisa allows you to take a haircut in the morning, which means like this. Ordinarily, a regular mourning, we're not allowed to make any exceptions. Nobody can take a haircut in the days of mourning. In a case where you have consecutive mornings, one after the other, you didn't get a chance to take a haircut in between. So then we will apply the exceptions. But the Brisa that it says it's asurim, it's talking about in a regular case. A regular case, mourners are not exempt the way Chol HaMoed is exempt. But Tokfa Avelav is exempt. The Gemara challenges this answer. If it's talking about a case which he has mourning one after the other, my kol elu sha'amru. So why does it say in the statement of the rabbis that all those that they said that can do a haircut in the moyed are permitted to shave in the morning? That means you need an exception. In a case where you have consecutive avelo, you don't need exceptions. then you can, without exception, everybody can take a haircut. You don't have to have these special circumstances. If we're talking about a situation where he has continuous mornings, one after the other, my iria kol elu why is different? It says all those that we exempted for Chol HaMoed are exempt for morning. No, we shouldn't need that. Why is that? Afilu kol almanami. Even everyone should be able to go ahead and do their haircuts if you are doing one after the other. Who says? Because the Tanya, we learn the Brisa, Takfu Avelov Zachar Zeh, if he was the continuous Avelov one after the other, and so what happens? And he has a lot of hair. He didn't get a chance to cut after the first time. Hichbit decided his Hichbit decided. Are you seeing all the junk I'm getting?
No.
My son fixed it for me. I made a mistake. I downloaded from the internet today, and I got it all again back over here. I tried to download a program, and I got all the garbage. Now I'm going to have to figure out how to clean it up. But anyways, meantime, it's they don't get in all the time now. I felt right away that there's something wrong, you know.
I don't see it on my side.
Yeah, it stopped. It goes on and on. It just throws it in you'll see in a minute. It's been doing it to me. Anyways, so over there it says in the Brisa that once the mourners come after the other, and then you have heavy hair, which means that your hair grows a lot, mekel betar, you can be lenient with a knife, which is the tar. Normally, people use scissors for haircuts. Well, you can use a tar, that's a blade for the haircut. And you can also wash your garment with water. So you see that you don't need any special allowance, special cases like we allow you for Chol HaMoed. Anytime if you have one morning after the other, you can just go ahead and cut your hair, and you can go ahead and wash your clothing, even though normally you're not allowed to do it, but because it's consecutive. So what are you going to do? We're going to allow you to wash your clothing. So the Gemara says no. But we learned about this, that Rav Chizda said, that the only thing we allow you is to use this blade, but don't use any scissors. Scissors we're not going to allow. Why? Scissors the normal way. We don't want to let you the normal way. So, if it's a situation which you have morning one after the other, you're still not going to allow to use a scissors, and you're still not going to allow to use soap. You can just use a blade, and you can use plain water, no soap. But if it's a situation in which you have these exemptions, like those that are allowed to shave on Chol HaMoed, then you can then you can do it normally with a scissor and with soap. Let's look at the Rashi. Itmar law, Amram Chizda, betar v'loi b'misparayim, with a blade, not with scissors, and b'mayim v'loi b'neser v'loi b'oil, not with it's kind of a soap or a scrubbing, a different kind of washing, just plain water. So that means when the Brisa says that you could do it if Tokfu Avelo, that's talking about plain water. That's talking about using a blade. When we says in our Mishnah that you can do it, the exemptions apply to Avelis, that would be that you can do it the normal way. Oit maralon. Oh, the Tony Tokfu al Avelo. Mekel betar beloy b'misparayim. So then he can only be lenient with a blade, but not use scissors. Because Braisa. So what is our Braisa coming to tell us? That all those that are permissible to take a haircut during Chol HaMoyed, Mutorim Legaleya May Evloy are also permitted to take their haircut in the times of mourning, if he has been consecutive mourning, and then he can use even misparayim, even scissors. But he says, these were all the restrictions. Put it in over here. So these exceptions are, so it turns out that if it's not morning after the other, and you're not then you're not allowed to do it. Then it's asurim. What does it mean asurim? You're not allowed to do it in the normal way. You still don't know. You're not allowed to do it the normal way. But we're allowed to do it in a normal way. So it says asurim means in a normal way if takfu avelov. Or asurim would be even, just regularly. If it's not takfa avelov, then you're not allowed to at all. The only time we allow you is when takfa avelov. But when takfa avelov, you can do it even in the regular ways. Okay.
This sounds a lot like on Shabbos when b'shas achak you can do something with the shinui, but I'm sort of missing what is the principle that says either that you can do it, but either you can't do it, or why not just let them do it?
When you do something with a shinui, it's not really considered doing it fully. It's like, it's not because you're not doing it in the normal way, so we don't count it really as doing it. So it doesn't have the stringency of it. So I guess since we want to allow you to do it because you've been having consecutive mornings, so by telling you to do it in a different way, we don't count it as if you're actually doing it because it's not done in the normal way. Rab Chizda, says Rab Chizda, Zoyse Meres, this tells us, Ovil Osur B'Tichboisis, that a mourner is not allowed to wash, because here we're allowing you only if your hair is heavy, but without the hair being heavy, we won't allow you. Zoyse Meres, Ovil Osur B'Tichboisis, Rashi Zoyse Meres, Mi de Katani. This tells us, since it's written, Takfu Avelov Mechabes Kisusay, that if his mourning has been consecutive, then he can wash his garments. Miklal, from this we can learn the Shar Ovel also B'Tichboisis, that the other Ovel is prohibited in washing. Okay, now we learn by Tomer Rabbanon. We learned in the Brisa that the Brisa says that Kishem Sha'omru Osur Legaleach B'Moyed, just as the rabbis said that it is prohibited to cut the hair during Chol HaMoyed, Kach Osur Litel Tzipornayim B'Moyed. You're also not allowed to cut your nails during Chol HaMoyed. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, that's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. But Rabbi Yosi Matir, Rabbi Yosi says no, it is, you could cut your nails during Chol HaMoed. For the Kshem Sha'omru He's going to extend this idea of cutting the nails also to a mourner. Just like we say that a mourner is not permitted to shave during the days of mourning, likewise it's prohibited for him to cut the nails during the morning. Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Rabbi Yossi matir. Rabbi Yossi allows. Rabbi Yossi allows Moed and a mourner to cut their nails. Amar Ula. So Ula says, Halacha Rabbi Yehuda be'ovel. That like Rabbi Yehuda, the law is by mourning that you should not cut your nails. Halacha Rabbi Yossi be'moed or achal moed, you could cut your nails. Halacha Rabbi Yossi be'moed, the matir, who was lenient. Shmuel Omar, what Shmuel says, no. Turn the page. He says, Harocha Rabbi Yossi b'moyed u'boy, that both Amchal Moyed and by morning, in both cases, you can cut the nails. Omar Shmuel, because Shmuel said, Halacha kedivrei hamekel be'ovel. The law remains like the one who is lenient by morning. And since Rabbi Yossi is the lenient opinion, says that you could cut your nails, so that's why the halacha is like Rabbi Yossi, that you can cut the nails during the time of mourning. So basically, that's most of the poskim believe the halacha is that you can cut your nails on Yom Tov, on Moed, and if you need to, in other words, you can wait, but otherwise you could. So the Gemara tells us a story now that Pinchas was Achua the Mar Shmuel. Pinchas was a brother of Mar Shmuel, of Shmuel. Isra Bey Milsa, something bad happened, which means he was in mourning. Isra Bey Milsa means that he was in mourning. Who happened to be, something happened bad, the Pinchas Achua the Pinchas, that Achua the Shmuel. Pinchas, who was the brother of Shmuel, Haba Oval, he got into mourning. Now, it must have been like maybe a child or something, because, or maybe not his, maybe it was a brother not from the same person, because how come Pinchas and Shmuel were brothers, but Pinchas was in mourning and Shmuel was not in mourning? So apparently the mourner had to do with Pinchas and not with Shmuel, even though they were brothers, okay? So old Shmuel, so Shmuel went up the Mishal Taima Minei to greet him, to see how he's doing, to comfort him. Heil Shmuel Lishal Beit Taima, Rashi teaches, Ledabir al Libre de Pinchas, he was speaking to his heart, he was comforting him. He went up to him. Chazanhu letufre dahaven efficient. So Shmuel saw the nails of Pinchas were long, so he hasn't cut his nail. Omar lei, so Shmuel says to Pinchas, "Amai lo shakalt lu? How come you didn't take them? How come you didn't cut your nails?" So he's saying to him, "But you're allowed," because he believes a mourner is allowed to cut the nails. We go by the lenient opinion. Like Rabbi Yossi, you can cut the nails. Omar lei. So Shmuel was upset that Pinchas is telling him that. So he's told to his brother Pinchas, tells to his brother Shmuel, if you were in mourning, would you cut your nails? Why are you telling me to cut my nails? Amar lei, if this happened to you, if you were in mourning, would you be so cheapening and say, no, you just cut your nails? Ilu but did they have it? Min Koloiman Ilu Hayisavim. Had you been the Ovel, Mimizalzes Be Kule Hai, would you then take that morning so lightly so that you would cut your nails? Is that what you would do? So, Hai Bavelus, the Shaklas of Tufrach, that you would take your nails. But he said it in such a way, sometimes you say, you got to be very careful what you say. So by saying to him, had it been you, he almost cursed him, told him, well, you should be in mourning like that. And the Gemara says, Havoyi, this is like it says in the verse in Kahelis, Sometimes by accident, the ruler gives out without knowing, and it's too bad he gave the rule already. So you said something unknowingly, mistakenly, and it came happening. What happened was the Yisra Bey Milsa Bishmul, Shmuel got into mourning himself. He sort of almost cursed him, and he put him into mourning. And then Shmuel mourned somebody. The Yisra Bey Milsa, Avelus. So now, Pinchas. So Pinchas Achua. So now the brother Pinchas goes to him, the Mishal time to comfort him. He comes to his brother now. So the Gemara says, Shaklinu letufre chabetinu la'ape. He took his nails and he threw it. He was so angry because he caused him the mourning because he said, so he took the nails and he threw it. And Rashi says he didn't just leave it there, he actually swept it up later. Bahadar Zarkinim Rav Kas. He threw it because of anger. But Bahadar Machneslu, but then later on, he swept it up. Why the Zarkin Russia? Because we learned later on, throwing nails is an evil person. You can't just throw away your nails. But he was upset with him. Amar Lei, so he says to him, Leis loch bris krusalis fasayim. Don't you go by what it says that there is a covenant to the lips, which means sometimes you bring something up out from your lips, it takes place. Bris krusa means there is a covenant formed for lips. Rashi says, Bris krusa lisvasayim, diksiv, and Rashi brings a proof. As the pasuk says, the Gemara is going to say, when they were going to the Akedah, so happens to be the Parshas Lech Lecha that we're reading now, going to the Akedah. So it says that he says to his sons that will bow and will return to you, to Eliezer, the people that walked along with Yitzchak. He says, and Yishmael, to Eliezer and Yishmael, he told them, will bow. He says, I'm taking Yitzchak with me, will bow, and will turn to you. So they said it by their lips, but they didn't know that he thought that Yitzchak is going to be dead. He thought he's going to bring him for a korban. Why did he say, and we will return? The Cain have it, but it turned out the Chosrul Tarvayu, they both came back. So you see, saying with his lips came true. Rabbi Yochanan says, where do we know that there is a covenant for what you say with your lips? Because the pasuk says, Avram says to his lads, you stay here with the donkey. Me and the lad, Yitzchak, will go up to here, and Ishtachava will bow them, and Ashuv Alechem will return to you. Even though they didn't think that that's going to happen. They just said it. And then this matter was supported that they both came back. So you see that Bris Kurusa was for sign what you say came true. So, anyways, he ruled like Rabbi Yossi, and he took the nails and he cut them on Avelus. So the Gemara says Sovur Minei. So the third thought from here that this that we allowed to cut the nails is the yad in the reguloi. That's only of the hand. You can cut the fingernails, but not the toenails. Fingernails, it's sort of disgusting. It's uncomfortable. But your toenails wait till after morning. Sover minei, the yad muter b'mei avlei mishum demois, because that is repugnant. Long nails, but the reguloi. But the foot, no. Omar Rav Onon bar Tachlifo. So Rav Onon, the son of Tachlifa, said, Lidi mefarshele minei de Shmuel. To me, it was explained directly from Shmuel. Leishno the yad, the leishno the regel. It makes no difference. You can cut the nails of the hands and the nails and the toes as well. This is all actually what he's talking about is like with your fingers or cutting out, not to use scissors. Ubigustera osir. Gustera means with a nail clipper or nusteri is misparayim. So apparently he asks everything to do in a regular, usual way, to do it a little bit in a different way. Sometimes people bite their nails, cut their nails by biting them. And the Gemara relates that Omar Rav Shimon bar Abba, says Rav Shimon bar Abba, Havi koimna kamed Rabbi Yochanan bein medrasha b'choylel shel Moed. I was before Rabbi Yochanan in the Beis Medrash, the study hall. It was Chod Moed. Shaklinu letufrei b'shinei. He took his nails with his teeth. He was biting his nails. V'zarkinu, and he threw it. So he did such a thing. So Shema Mino class, from here we can learn three things. Shema Mino, first of all, you can see that mutar litel tzipornaim b'choylei shel Moed. That it is permissible to take your nails on Chol Moed. Ushma Mino, and also we learn ein bahem mishumiyus, that we don't consider this to be repugnant. You know, if it was repugnant, then he wouldn't do it. Ein bashem shumiyus l'shagalei b'shinei, because you took it with your teeth, you see, we don't consider that repugnant. Ushma Mino,
a difference between someone who cuts their nails and someone who bites their nails is really more of a nervous reaction. It's not necessarily doing it
with a scissors, then you use, yeah, that's true too. Ushmami no, and also you hear that mutal zarkum, you can throw your nails. He just threw his nails. He bit his nails and he threw it off in the shul. But the Gemara says, Amy, but that is not true. That's not so. You shouldn't be allowed to. But we learned in Abraisa. There are three different parts that were written with regards to one's nails. We say like this: Hakoivram tzadik, one who buries them is a righteous. Serfon chosid, one who burns them is considered to be beyond the tzaddik, extra righteous, a chosid. And zerkon rasha, one who throws them is a rasha. You're not allowed to throw your nails. It says that if a woman who's pregnant steps on those nails, she might miscarry. That's why you consider a rasha. So a tzaddik buries it, so she can't step on it. But a chosid gets rid of it even more. That he buries it. Says that if you bury it, it can come revealed. It's not such a good. Burning it is even better. So he asked, how could he throw the nails? And they weren't answers. Time of Mai, the reason why you're not allowed to is Shema Taber Aleim Isha Umra B'Taber. A pregnant woman may step over those nails and she's going to miscarry. But Isha bein medrasha lo yishkicha. A woman is not common to be in the base medrash. It's not where the women are. So therefore, you don't have to worry about it. So, but you might be worried that you're going to sweep it up, the chitema, you're going to argue. Zimnim de mekanshiluhu v'shadi luhu amrei. Sometimes they'll sweep up the shul. The nails will be there and they'll throw it outside. V'shadi leila amrei. V'ovra alei itza amrei. And a woman will pass over them on the outside. So they swept it up. And the Gemara says, Kiven the ishtani. Once it changed the place that they were in the beginning, they changed, they no longer do damage. This that we worry about the woman's passing over the nails is when the nails are in the place where they were put in the beginning. But if they were swept up and they were pulled elsewhere, then we don't worry about it. Omar Rabbi Yehuda Barab. So the first version of Rabbi Yehuda said in the name of Rabbi. That Zugbo Mechamsun Lifnei Rebbe. A peer came from the place of Chamsun. They came before Rebbe to ask a question. Marzutra Masni, Marzutra learned it in the Braisa, not in the name of Rab. Marzutra Masni, the Braisa, that it had in the Braisa. What did they have? They had a question. The Bikshu Mimenu, what they asked him, as the Gemara will say, Tzipornayim Bimei Evloi, what's the din about nails during morning? But the Lav Mishmei de Rabbi Yehuda. It's not in the name of Rabbi Yehuda. So it's just a matter of who said it when. So according to Rabbi Yehuda, Rav said it, and Marzuta learned it in Abraisa. So the bottom line is, what did they come? Ubikshu mimenu. And they asked him, they wanted to know what the halacha is. Tzipornai, about the nails, are you allowed to? On Choil HaMoed, are you allowed to cut the nails? Actually, during morning, not Choil HaMoed, during the morning. Bikshu and Tzipornai may have learned, but Lam Shadravit. Tzipornai B'Hitlah. And the Gemara says, however, that the Bikshu Safa Mimenu, if they would have asked about the mustache, they only asked about the nails, whether you can cut it during the morning. They didn't ask, but if they'd asked him about this Safa, that's sort of the mustache. He would have allowed it also to cut the mustache. What it means is like this. Rashi explains: in Bikshu Memenu Safa Yamatilam, had they asked him about the mustache, he would have permitted them. Kolaimar, he says, "Ano chazina ledaite." I saw his mind that if they would ask him to cut the mustache during the mourners, he would have permitted them. He says, now the problem is, what about shaving part of your beard? He says, but there's the that does not include it and not destroying the corners of your beard, which would be the problem with shaving, but with the mustache, it doesn't apply. Ushmul on Marshmul says, more than that, they actually asked from him about the mustache, and he permitted. So basically, a mustache is okay even during morning, because you can't eat, it interferes with your eating. So Avitl Safra in the name of Rav said that Sofa Mizovis Lizovis. From one corner to the other corner, the lip, I guess, the edge from one corner to the other corners. Mizovis Lizovis. From the end of the mouth to the other end. mutar legalech, it's permissible to cut. Sharei ma'akeves achilo u'siya u'mois, because that holds back. It doesn't allow for him to eat and to drink, and it becomes repugnant. Amar Rabbi Ami. So Rabbi Ami says, "U'besofa ha'me'akeves." We're talking about a mustache that holds back the that he can't eat well. So then we allow it. Omar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchok, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchok says, "Lididi by me." There we go again. Says Lididi, Kisofa Markeves Domili. To me, it's like all of my mustache is like a mustache that holds back, because to me, any part bother. I'm a very delicate person. Ulididi means what? The anino daiti. I'm like a very particular. My mind is very particular. Kol hasofa, the entire mustache, is sofa amakeves dami, is similar to the lip that holds back. The anino li daiti, that I am very particular, and therefore I'm allowed to shave the mustache, not a problem. Okay, so the Gemara brought down this name, Avitul Safra Mishmei Rav. The Gemara is going to give us other statements. Omar Avitul Safra Mishmei Rav. Avitul Safra said the name of Rav, Mishmei Rav. Parish Shahoya Bimei Moshe. The Pari that was the Moshe was like a little short fellow. Guamo, he was all of one amma, a midget. Was a kone amma, but his beard was an amma. He said probably drag on the floor. Uparmashtakoi amma. That's his male membrane that was also an amma. Vizetis, a little more, amma vizetis. There we go. L'kayim Hashenemar. So that was all of this, L'kayim Hashenemar, to fulfill what it says, that he was like a low person. Daniel, that's written in Daniel and Perek Daled, that Shval Anoshim Yokim Alei, a very low of people will stand up against them. Basically, it was just a low person, a midget person, gonna stand up on them. Another statement that was given by Omar Avital Safra Ishmei Derav. He says that Parei Shahoya Bimei Moshe Amgushi Hoya, that the Pari that was in the days of Moshe, he was an Amgushi. What's an Amgushi? So Rashi says Amgushi Hava, and the pasuk says the Ksiv in a Yotza Maimon. What exactly does it mean? Shenamar Yotza Maimon. Machloikis b'Masechta Shabbos. Dafayin Hey Omid Aleph. Chad Omar Charshi, a sorcerer. He's going out. He used to go out in the morning. He would go out to the waters. So, what was the purpose for him going out to the waters? Because he was looking for sorcery over there. That was the reason that he went out over there. So, that's one opinion. The other opinion says, Omar, Gitufi, that was a in order to be able to praise himself, you know. It's either a sorcerer or somebody who was very tied to Avodah Zarah and is always cursing, basically. That's the guy that's always cursing. So that's Omar Gidufi, that he was the Hochi Yotzi. And we see that he was Avodah Zarah. Omar Liyoidim Aniyasisini. He said, I am my river, I made myself. So basically, he was very arrogant. He was an Avodah Zarah and made himself into an idol. And that's why he. All right, let's leave it over here. I'm kind of very exhausted over here. You can hear my voice. We'll leave it over here a little shorter, and we'll continue next week. Be'ezras Hashem, same time, same station.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Good night. Thank you for coming and for listening.
Thank you for teaching.